Hi guys, how are you doing? How's everyone today? Welcome to part 4, and today I just wanted to briefly touch on diets. There are so many different diets out there, and I get asked all the time, which is the best diet to support cleansing, which is the best diet to support your hormones. And you know, all diets in their own kind of way are good for you, and everyone's a little bit different. Some people thrive on the vegan diet, some people thrive on the veggie diet, some people thrive with more carbohydrates, others the keto diet, others the paleo. You know, there's now a small kind of minority of people with autoimmune conditions that are just able to eat protein. So just animal protein is supporting their body, because any fiber and starch from vegetable sources actually causes autoimmune flare-ups. So we are all so very different, and finding the right diet for us doesn't have to be complicated. It's just about seeing what works, taking notes, seeing how good we feel. You know, when we eat, we should feel energized. We shouldn't feel foggy. We should feel full, but at the same time satisfied, but not over full, not sick. We should be satisfied till our next meal. We should be able to go for hours and hours and hours without eating if we're eating the right food for us. And as I say, everybody is so different. So I don't tend to be too dogmatic about diets in terms of one diet will fit all. I do have general guidelines when it comes to cleansing. You know, if you've done the Breakthrough Signature Cleanse, in that the reason the Breakthrough Signature Cleanse doesn't have gluten, doesn't have dairy, very low in sugar, doesn't have soy and doesn't have eggs, is because I know that when I've done hundreds and hundreds of food intolerant tests on my clients, those foods are the ones that come up most. You know, wheat, soy, eggs, and and dairy, they come up most as inflammation. And you take those foods away, and people that do the Breakthrough Signature Cleanse, they lose weight so quickly. So that's why we tend to remove those foods. But everybody is different. So what you need to do is you need to understand how you can use your diet to cleanse. So for example, if you do a keto diet, keto is very high fat. Now fat is good for energy, it's good for your myelin sheaths, it's good for brain health. But some people with too much fat, it starts to put a little bit of a strain on their liver and gallbladder. Your liver has to process the fat. Your gallbladder has to be able to produce bile to break down the fats and emulsify them, so then you can absorb them, and the fats can go to your skin, the fats can go to your brain. And so it puts a load on those organs. So some people then after a while are very high fat, they might start to put on weight, or they might start to get skin conditions. Particularly women, sometimes hormonal conditions can occur. Estrogen dominant women, if they're having a keto diet, very, very high fat, after a while they become more estrogen dominant, because they're not working on their liver and gallbladder. So it's really important to know not only what diet works for you, but how you can harness your diet, and then how you can tweak it so that it's actually helping your body to cleanse and it's helping your body to detoxify. So for example, with a keto diet, what you might want to do is take supplements that are supporting your gallbladder, supporting your liver, you know, like apple cider vinegar for your gallbladder, St. Mary's thistle for your liver and your gallbladder, lots of bitter vegetables. You know, it was fantastic if you were having your keto diet, having some nice bitter raw vegetables like endive or rocket, those kind of things that help stimulate and help to break down the fats. Lemon juice helps to break down the fat. So that's a great way to naturally detox if you're on a long-term keto diet. And if you are a woman, it is recommended to have a break from a keto diet, just so you can help your thyroid, help your metabolism, help your hormones. It is recommended to have a break from that. Protein. If you're on a high protein diet, for instance you're doing paleo or you're doing caveman and you're on a high protein diet, your body goes through a lot of energy to break down animal protein. It uses a lot of enzymes, it uses a lot of B vitamins, and your liver and your gallbladder again are having to do more work. Your digestive function, it has to take on a lot to break down that protein. Now some people digest protein really, really well, and others I find don't digest it very well at all. So what you might want to do if you're on a high protein diet, a great way to cleanse is actually to have a vegan day a week. So you're on your paleo diet, and then one day a week you just have pure vegan. You know, you're just giving yourself some nice vegetables, maybe raw vegetables. That's a really good way to go about it. The one reason people get really great benefits when they go vegan is because that first month or two, your body is actually going through really significant cleansing, because you've upped your fiber, you've upped your vegetables, you may have upped detoxifying fruits, and you've probably omitted from your diet a lot of maybe takeaway foods. You've omitted a lot of chemicals, because animal protein that's not organic will have a lot of hormones in. There might be a lot of chemicals, antibiotics, and so your body is actually going through this mass detoxification when you go vegan. And that's why a lot of people, they find that first couple of months of going vegan, they feel fantastic, their skin is great. But with the vegan diet, it's less about that long-term detoxification and more about sustaining that diet. So with a vegan diet, once you've gone through that initial detoxification phase, you really need to be careful about where you're getting your macronutrients from. So you really need to be mindful about, okay, where am I getting the protein from? Making sure you're not having too many grains, making sure that you're getting enough fat-soluble vitamins to actually help your brain health, to get enough B12, to get enough protein. What I found with vegan clients is the minerals they're most likely low in are that zinc and that magnesium. So often I find vegans do better supplementing. So you can supplement with natural things like barley grass, which is high in magnesium. But definitely supplementing with zinc just to support that detoxification, but also just to give you that extra boost that you need if you're not getting it from your diet. And when you're vegan, it's really important to kind of be a healthy vegan, to have really good foods, having all your fruits and vegetables, but also making sure you're having things like mung beans, activated mung beans, so you're getting the protein and you're getting the enzymes at the same time, having sort of the sauerkraut, having things like hemp seeds, having chia seeds, and having good fats like lots of avocado, maybe some coconut products, to really give you that strength. But whichever diet you're on, it's really important to cleanse while you're on that diet. So for example, if you were, say, on the caveman diet and you were eating lots of proteins, you really need to make sure you're adding something with each meal that's going to be cleansing. So that might be, green leafy salad, something like that. But here's how you can actually use your diets to cleanse. The first one is, if you're not vegan, I would recommend having 1 day a week that's vegan. So 1 day a week where you're giving your body that rest off the protein, because breaking down protein, we need to use a lot of B vitamins to break down the protein, and we also need to use our detoxification system to break down the protein. And if there's anything in the protein that's a byproduct of stress, so for example, if the animal was stressed, there's going to be metabolites, there's going to be cortisol metabolites in the protein. If the animal wasn't organic and it was factory farmed, most likely there's estrogen metabolites in the protein. There could be antibiotics, there could be other toxins if it's a chicken and it's not organic. So by giving your body that break once a week, you're helping your body to cleanse these things out. So just, raw vegetables, salads, veggie sticks as a snack. Do that once a week if you are a high protein eater. If you're on a high fat diet, so fat is fantastic. Fat's really good for energy, fat's good for your brain, fat's good for your eyes, it's good for your skin, it's good for everything. I found when I upped my fat intake, really helped with that clear thinking and clarity. But if you are on a high fat diet, you want to give your body, again, a break from it. So doing maybe a 3-day fast, fat fast, once a month. So for 3 days, you actually aren't adding lots of fat to your food. So normally you might be adding ghee, or you might be having an avocado, or you might be adding lots of olive oil onto your food. But actually doing a 3-day fat fast, that's if you're on a high fat diet, doing a 3-day fat fast once a month, wonderful for your gallbladder and liver. During that 3-day fat fast, you're doing raw foods, really great bitter raw vegetables to really cleanse that liver and cleanse that gallbladder. I would also up the apple cider vinegar, so maybe twice a day, 10 mils of apple cider vinegar in water, twice a day during that 3-day fast, really cleansing, really supporting the gallbladder. Now, fat is good for the gallbladder, so because it helps to stimulate the gallbladder. The problem is if you're estrogen dominant, If you've got lots of chemicals in your environment and your gallbladder starts to suffer, if you've got MTHFR and the gallbladder starts to get a little bit sticky, the bile's getting a little bit sticky, maybe you're getting some gallstones, you want to give it a rest. So you need to be able to do these things every so often. So if you're on a super high fat diet, I would definitely recommend doing a 3-day fat fast. So that's no fat for 3 days, once a month, to give your body that beautiful rest that it needs. If you're on a high protein, a high animal protein diet, you're on paleo, you're on caveman, once a week do a vegan day. This vegan day will just naturally cleanse your body, and it will just give your body what it needs for that day. It will give your liver a rest. It will replete everything as well. Raw foods. So have raw foods with your food. So for example, if you eat a lot of stews or you eat a lot of slow cooked meats, one of the best way to complement that so you get some real good cleansing action is to add something on the side. So you could add a tablespoon of sauerkraut, which is, you know, raw cabbage, or a tablespoon of kimchi. If you're having stews, you could add a big handful of rocket to your stew, a nice raw rocket to your stew, or always have a little bit of a side salad with your hot meals. This way, you're getting the enzymes from the vegetables, the raw fruit, the raw vegetables, you're getting those enzymes. That's going to complement the cooked proteins, and it's going to assist with your detoxification pathways. Now, enzymes like catalase, which is anti-aging, amylase, all these enzymes that are in raw foods get destroyed in the cooking process. So if you're relying on cooked foods all the time and you're eating a heavy protein based diet and you're not having these raw foods, your body's having to take what it needs from your body and you're losing out. Now, catalase is a really important anti-aging enzyme. It supports your hair, it stops you getting grey hair, stops you getting wrinkles. It's a wonderful, wonderful enzyme that's found only in raw foods. So if you're missing out on raw foods in your diet, you're missing out on these beautiful enzymes. Now, if you're this kind of type of person that's got a cold sensitivity, you're cold, and you miss out, you need the, if you have raw foods you get sick, just add a little bit. Carry on having your hot foods like your soups and stuff, but just add the raw to it. Hey Sandra, add the raw to it, so it just helps with the breakdown of the foods and you're getting those beautiful enzymes as well. Another cleanse that I love to do, whatever diet you're on, so whether you're on vegan or whether you're on keto, paleo, caveman, whatever it is, one of my favorite cleanses, and you would have seen, I'm going to talk about it more next week because this is my favorite thing to do. I love doing just a 3-day soup fast. I love doing a 3-day soup cleanse. So I make up a batch, a couple of different soups, I make them up, and you know my detox soup, I'll put the recipe up. You know, that's my broccoli, it's my coriander, it's got zucchini in there, and it's in a broth. And I just have these soups for 3 days, and for me, honestly, I feel wonderful doing that. I feel so good just doing that nice, that gentle cleanse with the soups. I'm still getting a bit of protein, I'm still getting a bit of fat, and I'm getting all those wonderful vegetables that are cleansing. So that's my favorite thing to do, no matter what diet that you're on, add that in. Now, if you feel very run down, you want to make sure that you're eating enough. So if you're feeling sick, just be careful with doing cleanses. And number 5 is using fasting to cleanse. So there's so many aspects to fasting that can be wonderful. Now, not everybody suits fasting, and we shouldn't all be fasting every single day. You know, some of us have thyroid problems, some of us have low cortisol, some of us have high testosterone. So if your hormones are in a particular place, your neurotransmitters, fasting every day, particularly for women, can be difficult. It can lead to anxiety, it can lead to more ill health. So just be careful with fasting. But doing fasting occasionally can really support detoxification. Now, you can do fasting from extremes to not so extreme. So for example, some people might do the 3-day water fast. Now, the 3-day water fast has been shown to reset the system, reset your immune system, and really support your body. So you could look at that, but be really careful. If you're in adrenal fatigue and you do the 3-day water fast, you may have issues with your health. You may get very fatigued, you may have some immune issues. So again, be very, very careful and tread lightly. But the 3-day water fast can be very good for people that really feel they need to reset. maybe you've got some underlying health issues that you just haven't been able to shake off, and you just want to try something different. So you could try the 3-day water fast. I caveat that with saying, if you do the 3-day water fast, you'll be hungry at the end of it. So please don't just go crazy and pig out. Have a strategy when you come out of the 3-day water fast of having broths and having soups, and because that Mars bar is going to be looking pretty damn good for you if you've had 3 days off food, trust me. So 3-day water fast. But intermittent fasting can be great for cleansing your body. The reason it can be so great is because when we eat food, it goes through into our stomach, it goes through into our small intestine, and our small intestine has this beautiful kind of cleansing system like a vacuum cleaner, and it cleans it out. And it only really does that when we haven't eaten for a couple of hours, okay? So when we've got no food from here down to our small intestine. So when you fast, and if you do intermittent like the 16-8, and you fasted for like those 16 hours overnight, that's a beautiful time to cleanse out your body. It really does cleanse the body out. So using fasting therapeutically to cleanse is fantastic. I've done the 24 hours. 24 hours is great. And Sandra, it's really interesting. I've got 2 cats, and if I go away for under 3 days, I fast my cat. One of my cats has cancer, and I fast them while I'm away for a couple of days. They're on a raw food diet, so you can only do this if your animal's on raw food diet. You cannot do this if your animal eats dry packaged food from the supermarket, because it could kill them. But if they're on a raw food diet and their blood sugar's stable, but I fast my cats when I go away for a day or two, particularly the one that's got cancer, it's game changing for them. When I come back, they look younger, the energy they have. And what I also notice with Dude, who has stomach cancer, she's got cancer on her stomach, that they're actually smaller. So it's a huge change just from 2 days of water fasting. It's amazing that I can't do it while I'm home because they drive me crazy and they meow. But if I go away for a day or two, I always fast them. It's unbelievable. They're jumping around. Their coats look so shiny. They look young. They look like kittens again. It blows my mind how fasting can do that. But that's fantastic. So those are kind of the 5 simple ways that you can use your diet to cleanse at the same time, without doing some really serious heavy cleansing, or without spending lots of money. You can use your diet naturally to cleanse. So we've got, if you're a heavy meat eater, I would 100% do a vegan day a week, with nice vegetables, maybe some sweet potato, that kind of thing. If you're heavy fat in your diet, I would definitely do the 3 days per month of no fat. So 3 days a month, go fat free, just to give your body that rest from your gallbladder, a rest from breaking the fats down. If you eat a lot of cooked food and you eat a lot of protein, I would definitely add raw food to your cooked meals, just so you're getting all those wonderful enzymes and those antioxidants at the same time to support detoxification and to support your body, to support your liver, to support your gallbladder. I would also do the 3-day soup cleanse every so often. I love doing it. I do it every season. It's just something that suits me. Beautiful to do. And then I would use fasting to cleanse, and you choose what you want to do. Sandra already said she's done it for 24 hours. You could do a water fast for a day, a couple of days. You could just do intermittent fasting once or twice a week. But those are my 5 tips to use your diet that you're on, that suits you, to cleanse and get the most out of your diet. So I hope you found that helpful. Hi Giselle. When in your cycle would be the best time in the month to do 3 days of no fat? I would actually do it, I would do it when you're ovulating. So I would definitely not do, I would tend not to do a fast, and I would tend not to restrict my diet so much during the luteal phase, towards the end of the luteal phase in the period, because sometimes that can be a bit tricky for some. But definitely the latter half of your follicular phase, so day 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, any of those days, if you've got a 28-day cycle, would be good. So sometimes people feel very flat during that period and just need to rest and need a bit of food. So just be wary of that. But definitely no fat when your hormones are at their peak. So if your hormones are at your peak during your ovulation, that will be enough to have sustained energy, and then you could do your 3-day fat fast. When you're used to using fat, as I am, because it's flavoursome and it's filling, it's actually difficult to do. I encourage people to give it a go and see what it's like. It's the same if you're used to eating salt. I'm used to having salt and flavors in my food. Give it a go and actually have a couple of days of no flavor and salt, because it will actually, you'll get that new appreciation for food. So if you're used to chili, or you're used to cumin, or you're used to pepper, or you're used to salt, have a few days off it and have really plain food, like super non-tasting food, just the food itself. And you'll have this new appreciation. It's amazing. It kind of resets your taste buds. But definitely the no fat, it's hard. It feels like when you're not adding it, because I add it to everything. I'm always adding olive oil. You know, even if I make like a cracker with some avocado on and some tomato, I'll drizzle some olive oil over. So I'm used to using it so much. So if you're like me, you will find it tough, but it's worth it. It really is. It kind of just gives your gallbladder that push, and it really supports your gallbladder to cleanse. And when your hormones are highest, that's the best time, so mid-cycle, Giselle. So I hope you all found that helpful. You know, no one diet is the best, and particularly for cleansing. We've got all diets are suitable for different people. Like I said, some people are on the caveman diet. Some people just eat protein if they've got severe autoimmune conditions. Others are vegans, raw vegans. So there's a spectrum of diets. It's good to be patient with people, and it's good to understand people's different body types, hormone makeups, and what works for you may not work for others. So I hope that helped. And thank you so much for the questions. Thanks for joining. And if you do have any other questions about specific diets and how you can tweak your specific diet to support cleansing and detoxification, please ask below. Have a great day guys. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.